Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Bill Chan.
I'm Nimacum.
I'm Van Chan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you a part of Ulysses,
Bess,
L.
Ulysses, James Joyce. 17 Sec 12. The parties concerned, uniting, had increased and multiplied, which being done, offspring produced in a distant maturity. The parties, if not disunted, were obliged to reunite for increase and multiplication, which was absurd. To form by reunion the original couple of uniting parties, which was impossible. What considerations rendered departure desirable? The attractive character of certain localities in Ireland and abroad, as represented in general geographical maps of polychrome design or in special ordnance survey charts, by employment of scale numerals and hachures. In Ireland, the cliffs of Moher, the windy wilds of Connemara, Luffney with submerged petrified city, the Giant's Causeway, Fort Camden and Fort Carlisle, the Golden Vale of Tipperary, the Islands of Erin, the pastures of Royal Meath, Bridgetsham and Kildare, the Queen's Island Shipyard in Belfast, the Salmon Leap, the Lakes of Killarney, O'Burt, Ceylon with Spice Gardens supplying tea to Thomas Kerning, agent for Pembroke, Robertson and Co, Tuminsing Lane, London, A. 2 5 Dame Street, The Bin, Jerusalem, the Holy City with Mosque of Omar and Gate of Damascus, Goal of Aspiration, the Straits of Gibraltar, the unique birthplace of Marion Tweedy, the Parthenon containing statues of nude Grecian divinities, the Wall Street money market which controlled international finance, the Plaza de Tours at La Lina, Spain where O'Hara of the Cameroons had slain the bull, Niagara over which no human being had passed with impunity, the land of the Eskimos eaters of soap, the forbidden country of Thype from which no traveller returns, the Bay of Naples to see which was to die, the Dead Sea. Under what guidance? Following what signs? At sea. Septentrional. By night the Polester, located at the point of intersection of the right line from beta to alpha in. Arsemia produced and divided externally at omega in the hypertenuse of the right angle triangle, formed by the line of omega subproduced and the line of a delta versa. Now, and length, meridional, a bispherical moon, revealed in imperfect varying phases of lunation through the posterior interstice of the imperfectly Aloud, skirt of a carno-zygligent perambulating female, a pillow of the cloud by day. What public advertisement would divulge the occultation of the departed? 5 reward. What? Stolen or strayed from his residence Savinical Street. Missing gent about 40. Answering to the name of Bloom. Leopold Poldi. Height 5 9 inches. Full build. Olive complexion. May have since scorn a beard. When last seen was wearing a black suit. Above some will be paid for information leading to his discovery. What universal binomial denominations would be his as entity and non-entity? Assumed by any or none to none. Everyman or nomen. What tribute says? Honour and gifts of strangers. The friends of everyman. An nymph immortal. Beauty. The bride of nomen. Would the departed never know where no hoe reappear? Ever he would wander, self-compelled, to the extreme limit of his cometary orbit, beyond the fixed stars and variable suns and telescopic planets, astronomical whiffs and strays, to the extreme boundary of space, passing from land to land, among peoples, amid events. Somewhere imperceptibly he would turn somehow reluctantly, some compelled, obey the summons of recall. Answer. Disappearing from the constellation of the Northern Crown, he would somehow reappear reborn above Delta. In the constellation of Cassiopeia, and after incalculable eons of peregrination, return an estranged avenger, a wreaker of justice on malefactors, a dark crusader, a sleeper weekend, with financial resources by supposition surpassing those of Rothschild or the Silver King. What would render such return irrational? An unsatisfactory equation between an exodus and return in time through reversible space and an exodus and return in space through reversible time. What play of forces, inducing inertia, render departure undesirable, the lateness of the hour, rendering procrastinatory the obscurity of the night, rendering invisible the uncertainty of thoroughfares, rendering perilous the necessity for repose, evading movement the proximity of an occupied bed, evading research the anticipation of warmth human-tempered with colas linen, evading desire and rendering desirable the statue of Narcissus. Sound without a go. Desire. What advantages were possessed by an occupied, as distinct from an unoccupied bed? The removal of nocturnal solitude, the superior quality of human mature female to human hot water jacalifaction, the stimulation of matutinal contact, the economy of mangling done on the premises in the case of trousers accurately folded, and placed lengthwise between the spring mattress striped and the woolen mattress biscuit section. What past consecutive causes? Before rising pre-apprehended, of accumulated fatigued bloom. Before rising, silently recapitulate. The preparation of breakfast burnt offering, intestinal congestion and premeditative defecation holy of holies there. Bath rite of John, the funeral rite of Samuel, the advertisement of Alexander Keyes Urim. And Thummim, the unsubstantial lunch rite of Melchizedek, the visit to museum and national library. Holy place, the Buchan along Bedfordville. Merchants Arch. Wellington Keys and Chath Torah, the music in the Almond Hotel Shirishirim, the altercation with a truculent troglodyte in Bernard Kainen's premises Holocaust, a blank period of time including a co-birth, a visit to a house of mourning, a leave-taking wilderness, the eroticism produced by feminine exhibitionism right of Onan, the prolonged delivery of Mrs. Mina Porfahiv offering, the visit to the disorderly house of Mrs. Billa Cohen, 82 Terran Street, war, and subsequent brawl and chance madly in Beaver Street, Armageddon, nocturnal perambulation to inform. The cabin shelter. Boat Bridge Atonement. What self-imposed enigma did Bloom about to rise in order to go sore as to conclude lest he should not conclude and voluntarily apprehend. The cause of a brief sharp unforeseen heard loud lone crack emitted by the insentient material of a stream vein timber table. What self-involved enigma did Bloom risen? Thailand. Gathering multi-cloud multiform multitudinous garments. Voluntarily apprehending. Not comprehend. Who was Mzintosh? Was self-avowed enigma pondered with desultory constancy during 30 years did Bloom Mao. Having effected natural obscurity by the extinction of artificial light. Silently suddenly comprehend. Where was Moses when the candle went out? What imperfections in a perfect day did Bloom? Walking. Charged with collected articles of recently distressed male wearing apparel. Silently. Successively. Enumerate. A provisional failure to obtain renewal of an advertisement to obtain a certain quantity of tea from Thomas Kerning, agent for Pulbrook. Robertson and Co. 5 Dame Street, Dublin. And 2 Mincing Lane, 1 Denis. To certify the presence or absence of posterior rectal orifice in the case of Hellenic female divinities, to obtain admission gratuitous or pay to the performance of Levi. Mrs. Banban Palmer at the Giddy Theatre. 46, 47, 48, 39 South King Street. What impression of an absent face did Bloom? Arrested. Silently recall. The face of her father. The late Major Brian Cooper Tweedy. Royal Dublin Fusiliers. Of Gibraltar and Rehoboth. Dolphins Barn. What recurrent impressions of the same were possible by hypothesis? Were treated. At the terminus of the Great Northern Railway. Amiens Street. With constant uniform acceleration. On parallel lines meeting at infinity. If produced along parallel lines. Were produced from infinity. With constant uniform retardation. At the terminus of the Great Northern Railway. Amiens Street. Returning. What miscellaneous effects of female personal wearing apparel were perceived by him? A pair of new unauthorized half silk black ladies' hose. A pair of new violet garters. A pair of outsized ladies' drawers of India mull. Cut on generous lines. Brilliant of up axe. Shisamine Emiratis Turkish cigarettes and containing a long bright steel safety pin. Filled with curvillinau. A camisole of batiste with thin lace border. An accordion under skirt of blue silk moirette. All these objects being disposed irregularly on the top of a rectangular trunk. Quadruple buttoned. Having capped corners. With multicolored labels. Initialed on its facade in white lettering B. T. T. Brian Cooper Tweedy. What impersonal objects were perceived? A commode. one leg fractured, totally covered by square curtain cutting, opal design, on which rested a lady's black straw hat. Orange he'd wear, bought of Henry price. That's it. Fancy goods. She wore in a ramonderie manufacturer. 21, 22, 23 Miss Street. Disposed regularly on the washstand and flooring consisting of basin, subdish and brushery on the washstand. Together. Picture and night article on the floor. Depart. Bloom 6. He deposited the articles of clothing on a chair, removed his remaining articles of clothing, took from beneath the bolster at the head of the bed a folded long white nightshirt, inserted his head and arms into the proper apertures of the nightshirt, removed a pillow from the head to the foot of the bed, prepared the bed linen accordingly and into the bed. Ow. With circumspection, as invariably when entering an abode his own or not his own, with solicitude. The snake sprawl springs of the mattress being old. The brass quoits and pendant viper ready loose and tremulous under stress and strain, prudently. I'd entering a lair or ambush of lost orders lightly, the less to disturb reverently. The bit of conception and of birth, of consummation of marriage and of breach of marriage, of sleep and of death. What did his limbs, when gradually extended, encounter? New clean bed linen, additional odours, the presence of a human form, female, as the imprint of a human form, male, not is, some crumbs, some flakes of potted meat, well cooked, which he removed. If he had smiled, why would he have smiled? To reflect that each one who enters imagines himself to be the first to enter, whereas he is always the last term of a preceding series, even if the first term of a succeeding one, each imagining himself to be first, lost, only and alone, whereas he is neither first nor last, nor only nor alone in a series originating in and repeated to infinity. What preceding series? Assuming Mauvais to be the first germ of his series, and was Bartel Darcy, Professor Goodwin, Julius Mastiansky, John Henry Minton, Father Bernard Corrigan, a farmer at the Royal Dublin Society's Horse Show, Margaret O'Reilly, Matthew Dillon, Valentine Big Dillon, Lord Mayor of Dublin, Christopher Cullinan, Lennon, an Italian organ grinder, an Anna and Gentleman in the Getty Theatre, Benjamin Dollard, Simon Didlus, Andrew Psurbic, Joseph Cuff, Wisdom Halley, Alderman John Hooper, Dr. Francis Brady, Father Sebastian of Montargis, a boot black at the General Post Office. He. The lace, Boylan and so each and so on in the last term. What were his reflections concerning the last member of this series and late occupant of the bed? Reflections on his figure bounder, corporal proportion of bustiger, commercial ability a bestow, impressionability a bolster. Y for the observer impressionability in addition to vigor. Purple proportion in commercial ability, because he had observed with augmenting frequency in the preceding members of the same series the same concupiscence, inflammably transmitted, first with alarm, then with understanding, then with desire, finally with fatigue, with alternating symptoms of epice and comprehension and apprehension. With what antagonistic sentiments were his subsequent reflections affected? And they: jealousy, negation, equanimity. Of a bodily and mental male organism specially adapted for the superincumbent posture of energetic human copulation and energetic piston and cylinder movement necessary for the complete satisfaction of a constant but not acute concupiscence resident in a bodily and mental female organism, passive but not obtuse. Jealousy, because nature full and volatile in its free state was alternately the agent and reagent of attraction, because attraction between agents and reagents at all instants varied, with inverse proportion of increase and decrease, with incessant circular extension and radial reentrance. To be continued.